So what does it look like then to create the kind of communities that help train someone in a secular age such as ours?
Well, people sometimes come to hear me talk about the Benedict option, and they want a 15-point list of this is the formula. And as I say in the book, there is no set formula. We're going to have to work this out ourselves in our local communities with creativity, with faith, in the circumstances God has put us. So for example, the Benedict option for a Southern Baptist living in suburban Nashville is going to look different than it does for a Roman Catholic living in a town in Italy on the coast. I bring up in my book several examples of different communities who are trying to live out the Benedict option in their own ways. For me, the best example is this Catholic community who call themselves the Tipi Loschi. It's Italian for the usual suspects. They have a real sense of humor. But they live on the Adriatic in a town of 50,000. About 25 families who come together, and it was started by college friends, 3 young Italian guys who discovered Christ in college, and they wanted more out of their faith journey than you could get in a normal Catholic parish in Italy. So they started this group, and they brought their girlfriends in. Their girlfriends eventually became their wives. Then kids came along, and they started this group to catechize, to form their kids, and to help them be authentically Catholic. They didn't do it in opposition to the church. They still go to their local parish to receive the sacraments, but this is supplementary. You go there now to their place. They have a clubhouse called Santa Lucia, which overlooks the Adriatic. They bought this dump that was covered with briars, and they restored it themselves with the labor of the community, all these kids. And they come together there for Bible study. They come together for work projects. They're growing a garden. They invite others from the neighborhood to come in. They go serve the poor. They have their own classical Christian school called the Scuola G.K. Chesterton. And it's just amazing. They go on pilgrimages together. They're the most joyful people you would ever hope to meet. They're very conservative Catholics, but they're not angry about it. Yeah. So whenever I go visit them, I'm not a Catholic, but they welcome me as a brother in Christ. And people tell me sometimes that they've gone to Italy and went to see that community because they wanted to see what is possible. Now, the way the Tipi Loschi do it, that's not the only way to do it, but that is one way to do it. I look forward to the kind of experimentation that we should be seeing now among Christians of all kinds in all churches and communities. I have to tell you this, though. This new book I'm working on is about advice that Christians mostly in this culture, what we can learn from Christians who suffered under communism, under Soviet communism or Soviet bloc communism in the East Bloc. Because I think that a soft totalitarianism and a persecution is coming. So I've been traveling this year to Russia, to Eastern European countries, interviewing members, mostly of the underground churches there, to find out, what did you do? How did you make it through there? Because I think that there are important lessons for us. I discovered this summer the story of a priest named Tomislav Kolakovic. He was a Croatian Jesuit who escaped Zagreb in 1943. He was organizing Catholic resistance to the Nazis. He got a tip-off that the Gestapo was coming for him. He escaped to Slovakia. He met the Catholics there, the Catholic lay people, and said, I have to tell you, the war's going to end, Germans are going to lose, but this country is going to fall under the communist yoke. We have to get ready for it. He started to organize little small groups of cells of really committed believers. They prayed together, they studied their faith, and they learned the arts of resistance. 5 years later, what he prophesied in 1943 came true. Czechoslovakia fell under communism. And in the Slovak part of the country, the underground church became the resistance, and it was the 300 people that Father Kolakovic had trained and warned, this is coming, get ready now. They were the ones who formed the resistance. Many of them went to jail, went to prison, and suffered in prison for their faith. But they kept the faith alive there under great persecution. I'm going to dedicate this book I'm writing now to Father Kolakovic. It's a form of the Benedict option, a really sort of the Benedict option for guerrilla warfare. Yeah.